Welcome to this current presentation called Comparative Syntax Basic Features on the Hypothetical Connective of Calls. The first thing is the main data. We are going to analyze how the word because works differently in different languages. Not only this word, but what implications and information we have because of this word. We have on table 1 the Romance languages, which has this following word. In Portuguese is porque, Italian perché, French parce que, Romanian pentru ça, Spanish porque. For the matter, we are going to analyze just 3 of these languages, Portuguese, Italian, and French, and how they work differently. Germanic languages, however, we have, of course, in English because, German, weil or den, depending on the structure, Swedish, eftersom, Dutch, omdat. For the matter, we are not going to analyze the English sentence, neither Swedish, but we are going to focus our attention on the German and Dutch structures. Talking about structure, let's say some words about this following presentation. Our method and research problem is, what are the verbal movements in linear order of dependent clauses, considering their pronounced form? So once we have all of these lexical information, both from Romance and Germanic languages, we are not going to analyze their logical forms, and we are not going to talk about deep or surface structure themselves, but we are going to focus our attention on the linear order or the phonetic form, how the sentences are in fact pronounced. The other question, which is going to be followed, is what other additional traits can be observed. Not that these are additional traits are additional to the syntax itself, but for this current presentation and study, we are going to be considering these following informations, such as inflectional phrases, agreement features of the sentences, as additional traits. Once our focus is how the sentences are going to be constructed and built, the main focus should be rest on this feature and not another thing. So for the matter of the comparison, we have once in Romance these 3 languages, Portuguese, Italian, and French, and the sentences we have chosen are, in Portuguese, ele me avisou porque se importa comigo. The translation to English is not, of course, what we have written there, but should be said, he warned me because he cares about me. The first feature is that the verb to care is a reflexive one in Portuguese, and we do not have, once again, pronounced the word he in the sentence. In Italian, sappiamo finalmente perché sei qui. In Italian, as we can see, we have the following sentence, we know finally because you are here, or we finally know because you are here. So the main sentence of Italian structure is a quite different one from what we have in Portuguese, but they are similar in many features. The first one is what we call expletive pronoun or subject. The first thing we have on the sentence, the very first thing, is a verb, sappiamo, which is the verb sapere, to know, in English, which is already conjugated. So we have this additional information which already shows us that the person who knows in the sentence is a first person plural. I have mistyped there, it's not PS, it's PP, which is plural, so first person plural. I'm sorry for this. And the second part of the sentence, which is what we call the dependent one, perché sei qui, has the same additional information. You is not pronounced on there, and we have the verb to be already conjugated for the second person singular, and we don't need to pronounce it again because in another part of the speech has already been said by the person, by the speaker, in comparison on what we have in Portuguese and Italian. Je t'appelle parce que j'ai besoin de parler à toi. In this sentence, which means I call you because I need to speak to you or I need to talk to you, we have the pronouns, just like in English, already pronounced in the sentence. They are already launched in the phonetic form, differently from what we have in Portuguese. But it seems that all of these connectives, porque, perque, and parce, they work quite the same. In Germanic field, we have, on the other hand, some differences. In Dutch, for example, in the following sentence, dit dit ik omdat het superleuk is. I did this because it was awesome, or it is awesome. The main verb, the verbal phrase, in the dependent clause was relocated to the end of the sentence, and the same is going to happen in German. Es funktioniert nur, weil die Probleme kennt. It works only, or it only works because he the problem knows. So, because he knows the problem. Some final results which we can see from here is, despite the other differences noted by the pronouns and the function of direct object observed in the main sentences, it can be seen that the existence of the hypotectic connective because in Romance languages does not differ in the construction of linear order. As we said, all the verbs are here right after the connective. Porque se importa, porque sei que, parce que j'ai besoin. However, in both Portuguese and Italian, the expletive subject mark is observed. As we said, in French we have the obligation, just like in English, to pronounce the subject. One of the reasons for this is because in French we have usually the same pronunciation or the same phonetic form for lots of verbs once they are conjugated in the present and even in the past tenses. Finally, in the analyzed Germanic languages, one can see that the verb phrase VP has been relocated to the end of the sentence, and these are the differences which are allowed for us to see once we compare the single hypothetic connective. Thank you very much for watching until here. See you next time.